Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Sam. I'm an intuitive, and this video is going to be a little bit different because I have a couple of personal thank yous to deliver. Um, it's already a little bit different because normally when I record at my desk here, it's my face isn't in the video. I normally do these recordings very late at night. Um, So yeah, it's better for a lot of reasons, but this one's kind of personal. Um, so I'm going to just throw out some thank yous, and my hope is that it will also be sort of a personal testimonial that will bring hope and encouragement to anyone on a healing journey or a journey of raising their vibration in however you think about that. And then hopefully a little deck review of some new decks. But if that's not your cup of tea, totally understand. All you have to do, if you still want to listen to this reading, is fast forward until I pull out the storybook deck. So when you see these handwritten cards start to come out, you can watch from there. But yeah, I just want to say that around maybe December, I I had been on this journey of like healing and raising my vibration. And what I didn't realize was what that would make me a match for or to. And I started to become a match to energies that were deeply tapped in, like super psychic folks. Um, and I started to encounter really magical people along my path. And the people is just one of the many ways that the universe starts to become lucid. It's like you're lucid dreaming in real life. As you raise your vibration, you begin to be able to converse with the universe in really interesting ways. And to me, still one of the most interesting and most fun and most heartwarming is just the beautiful people that the universe sends along your path, the messengers it sends to you, and the ways it uses you, your vessel, as a messenger to them as well. I have just been in awe of it, truly. And there are some people I want to thank who have all sent me physical gifts, and who are all supporters of the channel and just personal friends of mine. So huge thank to Jez. You met me at the very beginning of all this, before the channel was a thing, and I just want to thank you for following the white rabbit that is your intuition, all the way into Wonderland sometimes, even when it seems crazy. Yeah, you're so tapped in. So thank you. And to Natasha for all of the warmth and the beautiful energy you've brought into my life. The messages that you've delivered to me, but also pointed out in my own messaging. The mirror you've held up, and the healing energy that you hold. Thank you for following your intuition and listening to that soft but insistent voice. It's pure magic. And to Candace, thank you so much. Candace got me 3 different decks here, which I really want to show off, along with just some of the most guided, let me just say this. If you have a very intuitive friend, whether they know it or not, and they say to you, I got you something. I don't know why, I just know it's yours. Take it. That is a gift from the universe. And it will come with really beautiful energy. I've never encountered items with such like a high frequency of love, truly. Universal unconditional love. And that's what you get when you accept gifts from deeply tapped in people. The whole thing has been so healing for me because it has also taught me to receive. I think a lot of us on this path have an easier time giving than receiving. And once we start to be an energetic match to receive the kind of energy that we put out into the world, it's magic. It really is. But you have to, if your heart is closed off to it, you can't receive this kind of high vibrational love. Yeah, everything was so guided, but I'm just going to try to keep it relevant to the channel and jump into a couple of oracle decks and a tarot deck. So yeah, thus ends like the thank you part of this. And I'll angle the camera down to check out these cards. But just for anyone out there who's like, Sam, it's been months, or even like it's been years, and I still have not encountered, like, where are all the good people? Where are all the deeply loving and tapped in people? Where are the people who are close to source, close to spirit, close to God? They're coming. Don't give up. It'll pay off. And when it does, it will make you cry. Like, the energy is so, so beautiful and so worth it. Don't give up on people. Your faith in them will pay off. There's so much beauty out there, and so much healing to be found in other people as well. That's not always the message, but from this brief beginning part, it is. All right, let's talk about some oracle decks. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so first up, we got the Jungian Archetypes Oracle. This one makes me feel like I'm in a contemporary art museum. That's what all of the art looks like to me. It's also what the descriptions in the book are like. So if you like your Jungian archetypes, I feel like you would love this oracle. I can't wait to get into this. I choose the decks. I do as I'm told for the decks at the beginning of each reading. So these will find their way into different readings, but one of these will feature in the reading to come. But next is the Paradise Found Oracle. And this is so beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see this color, the gilding. But all of the artwork in this deck is just like, it's a little bit trippy and pastel colors. but I love it, especially the landscapes. Yeah, they're so gnarly. This deck is incredibly beautiful, and it's the first Oracle guidebook that I cracked open where I was like, oh, this actually feels like me. You know, this feels like it was written in a way that speaks to my heart. So I can't wait to fold these into readings. Super guided gift right here. But then there's also the Tarot of the Divine. And this is just perfect for this channel in particular, which is about stories and the sacredness of stories. This deck by Yoshi Yoshitani says it is inspired by deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. And the art on these cards is incredible. Like so many different cultures, all reflected in this really colorful, fun art style, which if you watch the channel, you know I really dig. And, you know, they're all the same archetypes as the tarot, but they're depicted from so many different stories, from so many different cultures. So there's a lot to work off of here intuitively just by the pictures. Or you could even go by the stories of each individual card and how they sort of weave together. I obviously don't know all of these tales well enough from the jump, but there's a guidebook. And yeah, I think if you're into stories and you're looking for a tarot deck, this is a really neat one. And it's just perfect for the channel. It's so well aligned. All of these are so beautiful. I can't wait to use them. Anyway, thank you, Candace, for these. And yeah, we're going to hop into a reading, hopefully culminating in these guys. We'll see how I do. If I can cover it in the other divinatory tools, we might not make it, but these will work their way into the mix eventually. Just stack these. If you stuck around through that personal message, I greatly appreciate it. I hope there was something there for you. And yeah, be receptive to the divine feminine energy around you. It does exist, and it is so beautiful. Anyway, first up, we got Storybook deck. This is one I wrote with just some spiritual lessons that I picked out from stories that I like, books, TV, movies. There's a couple specific to my life in here. Let's see. Air Bud, choosing his person. This is from the movie Air Bud. This is card number 21. So this card comes out in the movie Air Bud, which I haven't watched for a long time, to be fair. This card has never come out on the channel. But I remember a scene where Air Bud, who is a dog who eventually learns to play basketball. Spoiler for Air Bud. If you're somehow watching this from the 1980s. So this comes out to say the dog has a choice between his old owner, who never treated him very well, right? Very cruel to the dog. I relied on fear and discipline. And this boy who brings a light energy and a big heart. And this card comes out to remind you to choose what feels right in your heart over what fear has conditioned you to accept. And you know, this can be fear or lack in any form, in the form of a person, our larger society, your upbringing, authority figures in your life. It comes out to suggest that you refuse to follow authority figures who do not respect, encourage, and empower you, or who rely on force, coercion, manipulation, and toxicity. Sorry, I'm just reading through the rest of this card to see what is for you. I'm going to skip some of the media parts and go to the bottom. Go pet a dog. Go to the park. There's also an invitation to... No, okay, that part's not for you. All right, I think we covered the energies from that are relevant. More from here? Yeah, okay. Get some more from the storybook deck. Sometimes when it's taking forever, when like a very particular card wants to come out, and I'm like screaming in my head, I'm like, just pick a card. And I get this energy back of like, you know, your upsetness is not going to make the correct card come out any faster. Like, just relax in. So okay, here we go. Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewbacca in the garbage compactor. This is card number 2. It was one of the first cards I was thinking about when making this deck. And it is kind of a good match to that energy. Where you want something to happen like right now, or you're going about something from a dysregulated state, whether it's anger or frustration, grief, lack, fear. So yeah, so this card comes out to say that you may be in a sticky situation where panic or those dysregulated states of emotion, acting from those, will make things worse. And no matter how little time you think you have, slow down. Perfect energy. These together almost feels like some authority of some sort, perceived authority, maybe putting you under emotional or time pressure to make a decision, or exaggerating the bind that you're in so as to put you under the gun, light a fire underneath you. All of these like violent turns of phrase that are all intended to put you in a dysregulated state where you can't make calm, empowered, self-affirming kind of decisions from a state of peace. Yeah, okay. I do think that's the energy. If there are any nuances there, we'll pull them out. But anything else from here? Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, now it's all coming together. Card number 27, Spider-Man and the Green Goblin at the Queensboro Bridge. So this is from the Air Bud era, slightly after that. That original Spider-Man movie, early 2000s. And if I remember correctly, the Green Goblin, the bad guys, dangling like a bus full of kids on the one hand, and Mary Jane, uh, Peter Parker, Spider-Man's love interest, in the other, and he's holding them off of the Queensboro Bridge over the water. And he's a nasty guy. He's like, make a choice, Spider-Man. Like, the woman you love or the bus full of children. Like, who are you gonna let die, kind of a thing. But rather than totally panic and accept this time pressure and this negativity, rather than give up his own power or his own will to choose like a different scenario, a different outcome. Instead, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, saves both the bus full of children and Mary Jane. Even though it was extremely difficult, if I remember correctly. This card comes out to say like a false choice is being presented to you by some sort of devil energy. Or even like Emperor in reverse energy with this. But it can also be, something is presented to you as yes or no, black or white, either or, when it can be yes and, it can be both, or it can be neither, right? This can even be a part of you that is presenting this false choice between these two outcomes that it sees as the only possible ones or the only logical ones, or what authority would dictate are the two options. I think this part is worth mentioning just because it's like a psychological lesson, but also like kind of a nasty spiritual one to me. So there's this tactic of psychological manipulation that is actually taught to get a child to do something. Like, you're a parent of a small child. They don't want to do what you want them to do. So you present this scenario where you limit their options, and then you give them the freedom to choose between two pre-scripted options. So rather than saying like, do you want to, clean your room? And the answer is like, no. They instead say, do you want to clean your room now or in half an hour? And the child's like, oh, half an hour. They feel more agency over their decision, even though their freedom was limited from the beginning by this false choice, right? Similar to what the Green Goblin is presenting Spider-Man with here. So you're an adult. This comes out as a reminder to say, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. I just mean like, hey, authority figures rely on you. Negative authority figures, those who rule by force and coercion, rely on you thinking in some way that you don't know as well as they do, or that you are lesser in your decision-making abilities or in your power. And there's a reminder here that you're an adult and you can take back your power. This card encourages you to be the hero, the superhero who chooses to see a win-win scenario where others only see a win-lose or even a lose-lose. My sense here is that there's some third, fourth, fifth, or other option. And this energy progression doesn't have to come out to say like, just be a grown-up. That's not the energy. It can totally be that you just are unaware of this option or you don't see this option, right? And maybe this reading can help with that. Are we done here? Okay. No, okay, we're gonna skip the T tabs. Yeah, we're gonna check out the 78 Tarot Astral deck, Tarot in Space, to see what the aliens and the astral folk have to say. Ooh, Three of Cups. There's a lot of nudity which YouTube doesn't love in this particular Three of Cups. Okay. Usually we do a spread from there, but I think being called to read from the book for this particular card. Three of Cups. Okay, so this deck is unique in that a different artist drew every card. It's really good for intuitive readings because there's so much variety. But the Three of Cups, each one of these cards is split up into the card story, which is written and explained by the person who created the art. And then there's also the divinatory meaning, the card's message. So I think we're going to read both here. The Three of Cups, the card's story by Aja Trier. The Three of Cups is a card of celebration. It's the party card. I thought about how this might look with an astral theme. Color, glitter, organic swirls, darkness overhead with the stars in the sky. Three nude maidens with golden chalices commiserating with each other and putting the world to rights in this beautiful other world with a holographic crescent moon above. The star tattoos on each of their bodies signifies the bond between them. I don't want to limit this reading too much because this can be a lot of things, but I'm definitely getting an energy of like out to drinks with coworkers, or like other people who are under this, under the auspices of this energy, this negative, authoritative, coercive energy. This can be a boss, you know, and through commiserating with these coworkers, you'll learn something, some piece of information or a perspective. And I'm thinking this will give you another option. It's really specific though. We'll see if something else comes out, but I'm just getting this feeling that like you're not the only person who has experienced this energy, and most likely not the only one who feels oppressed, hard done by, or boxed in by it. But others will have some experience, others will have seen it from a different angle, like seen this energy from a different angle, seen even like a weakness in this boss, or found a way to, you know, they've already found the option that you're looking for as Spider-Man to make this a win-win. They know of another option. You know, to take it in a completely different way, this can be, you know, you get together with friends in a casual setting, or you're at a party, and someone just has like information for you, just through conversation, just through like that organic, revelatory atmosphere where conversations just naturally spark up, or just through community, that conviviality, you together come up with like you all have different breadcrumbs to contribute to a solution to undermining this energy by choosing a completely different, like just by not playing whatever game it's trying to, whatever like bounded scenario it's trying to create. It's like you can only play on this game board, and you guys are like, that's not true though. Like there's a whole other side to the game board, or like this isn't a board game at all. It's D&D. We're going all imagination, you know? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Any more from here? Yeah, okay. We're going to go Tarot of the Divine. I wanted to make sure I got the name right. This is actually the first full-on reading I'm doing with these cards. So I'm really excited. Nine of Wands. Oh man. How about that for a Nine of Wands energy? That feels like a Grimm fairy tale, doesn't it? Brothers Grimm. Flaming skulls on spikes. Oh man, okay, just that. All right, from the book. Oh, okay, we're going intuitive off of this art. Let's see. Do you guys see in the background? I just need to make sure you can see that there's this house and it's all on fire on the inside. But it's also somehow a rooster, where it has the tail and it's walking around on two legs. I don't know what story this is from. I have nothing to go off of here. I only pointed out the house because I just want you to see how bananas this card is. But what is being highlighted for me is this girl, this young woman, who's holding like a doll. But it makes me think that because the doll is also blonde-haired, blue-eyed, it makes me feel like it's almost her inner child. And the way she's holding it to her heart as though to protect it. It just feels like you might be surrounded by or moving slowly away from some situation where I'm getting that the fire that's in this nefarious house is also the fire that's burning through these skulls, through their eyes, through their mouths, as they sit on these spikes. I just feel like that dark house with the fire inside is this, whatever this nefarious, authoritative, manipulative energy is. And it's like you can see that it's kind of burned out the light in a lot of people. Like it's burned through the life in their eyes, right? I don't want to sound all arch and say like it's taken their souls. It's not necessarily that kind of energy, but when you have to deny and hide away the passions of your inner child for long periods of time, that is something akin to having your soul shut away, if not, taken. I just feel this way with so many workplaces, so many authoritative systems. There's like this energy where everyone stays and just suffers, where they're like, well, I used to be a person and now I'm a flaming skull on a stick, but everyone here is a flaming skull on a stick. So it's normal, you know? And you're like, whoa, no, I don't want to be a flaming skull on a stick. More from here? He asked desperately. Yes, we're going to pull some more from this beautiful deck. It has such a nice texture as well, and it shuffles so well. Temperance. Yeah, I just feel like you're learning something that helps you realize an out from this like weird game that's being played with what is ultimately your life, right? Your time, your focus, your attention. These things add up. They are the sum of our life. And it's like what you're turning towards is valuing your own peace. There's a couple of things I see here with the many hands. I just get the feeling that you are like, say this is a workplace. What can this be if you stay? What this could be is you find a way to preserve your peace, either while other people are insistently very busy around you, or you find ways to automate these things that you're doing so that you're essentially sitting there meditating and all of the things that you're paid to do are sort of done around you. Like they're done through a system that you set up and you don't have to worry about them, sort of a thing. The hands are also holding a lot of, there's like a bell and a lotus flower and mala beads. There's also this, and she's wearing like luxurious jewelry and she's got one foot dipped into these gently flowing waters around her. And there's this feeling of maybe like you're valuing self-care and putting your time into that. Um, these energies are like, burn yourself out like the rest of us. It's normal. And, and you're like, ooh, no thanks. That can be your normal if you choose. I choose different. All right, we're gonna get some more cards here. Three of Cups again. Huh. Okay, yeah, we're gonna read from the book on this one. So this is a beautiful Three of Cups, and is in some ways the same and some ways contrasting with this other Three of Cups. Let's see what comes through in the book's description of this card. I'm so excited. This deck is so beautiful. Okay. So this story is called by the book Apsara. It's from Cambodia and from Hindu mythology. So the Three of Cups represents camaraderie and a good time. The Apsara are celestial beings of the sky known for dancing, partying, and fornication. The joyous group oversees fertility rites, the performing arts, and the fortunes of gambling. Wow. Wow, what a purview. So In the upright, it's about celebrations, friends, indulgence, parties, and community. In the reversed, in the negative, it's about overindulgence, infidelity, disintegrating bonds, gossip, and isolation. Hmm. Okay, Spirit, what's going on? How do these energies work together? So there's a little bit of here's a little bit what I see. This temperance card is in the middle, and temperance it's about balance, knowing what is enough of different things for you, for your vessel, for your life, and what is too much, and of not having too much of a good thing, not having too much of a bad thing. This temperance card is holding all that self-care stuff I mentioned before, but also an arrow, a bow, something that might be a musical instrument and might be a bludgeon. Maybe this over here is a barbell. There might be another weapon, and like this can be a balance between I don't know, like work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. It may be a balancing of the excesses of working to the point of burnout. It's so poetic with the flames literally burning out of their eyes and mouths. Um, Tempering perhaps a tendency to work to burnout in yourself, in the larger society. It's a epidemic, while also tempering the excesses of this energy. I love this energy. Who doesn't like this energy, right? Squares. I'm just kidding, but no, really, if you can't relax and do the occasional partying and fornicating, what's the point? But there's a little bit of a balancing being called for in both of those areas, I think. And I think what brings it about, because what will naturally balance out both of these things, because if you're like, Sam, I clearly don't know what's enough and too much of various things. I got burnout on the one side, and I got like excessive Three of Cups energy possibly on the other. I work too hard and I play too hard. And you're wondering how to adjust like one or the other or both at once. And the way that this happens is really organic when you start to be self-centered, but I don't mean it in that fashion. I mean centered in self. Do you see the circles perfectly coming out from her mental peace. There's like this, the energy is equanimous, tending towards balance. And the emphasis, I think, is on inner balance that will, when we bring balance internally, when we reside even for 1 minute a day more often, and then maybe 2 minutes, and then 5, and then 10, when we reside in that perfect peace, that equanimity, we bring sanity back to our internal spaces slowly, more and more. And that sort of balances all of the insanity around us. And it helps us to see I feel like those third option routes from the false dichotomies that we're presented with by especially toxic authority. It just reminds me of like being in a completely unnecessary meeting or something, and they're like, you listen up or you get out. And you're like, third option, I am here physically only. And you're just watching your breath the entire meeting. And you can see all around you everyone's blood pressure rising, but it doesn't affect you because you are so equanimous. You have learned how to modulate your own physiology, and not by trying to do so, right? Just by bringing in more equanimity internally. And the rest just sort of naturally balances out in very healthy ways. And in ways where you can still have fun. Like, it's not like you start meditating or whatever and you immediately become a square. Okay. Any more cards? No, we're good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think there was some advice just wrapped up in that little energy progression there. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for joining me, guys. Special thanks to anyone who stuck around for the personal messages at the beginning. And if you're still here, greatly appreciate you. Good luck with this energy. It's insidious. And but the solution to it is so simple, and it's internal. And they can't take away your perfect peace. Not when it's internal. All right, guys. I love you all very, very much, and I will see you in the next reading.